So, in the beginning of the year, I spent around a month traveling through the Philippines, and while it definitely has been one of my favorite travel destinations, I feel like there are a few things that I maybe would have done differently. And as of right now, I'm planning my next trip, including the Philippines, and I want to share with you the things that you maybe should not do, and also at the end of the video, my travel plans for the next few months.
And with that, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny, and here we talk about mindset, health, and travel. And yeah, today it's gonna be a little bit of a throwback to the Philippines trip, which at this point is around half a year ago. The time has been amazing, and as of right now, I'm planning my next trip. It's probably gonna be 3 to 4 weeks in the Philippines. Nothing yet is certain. The flights are not booked yet, the plan is not in place. More about that at the end of the video if you're interested, but for now I just decided to throw together this video for you and share with you on the one side what I think people maybe should not do when they want to travel to the Philippines, or if you're just interested in my perspective, that's what it's gonna be. And we're jumping in with the first thing, which is gonna be, don't just do one part of the Philippines. You see, this country is pretty much a number of thousands of islands, and if you want to decide where to travel, it can be quite hard. Like, I get it. The first time, everything looked completely the same for me. I had no idea what to do. So, you see, while I was traveling, I for myself decided that after a few months of doing this mistake of wanting to see it all, to be everywhere, spend a few days, go on to the next thing, you really get kind of like a travel burnout. This is what I had. So in the Philippines, I decided to just do one area, but really do all of it. So we landed in Cebu. This is a city, like we checked out the malls, we checked out a few restaurants, and then we headed on onto the islands. And we did pretty much everything in the area. We started out with the Bohol Island, super big island. There they had the Terzier monkeys, the chocolate hills, a lot of really cool stuff. And we loved it, like really, don't get me wrong, it has been amazing. We also have seen extremely nice, very small islands, and we did pretty much all of that in the area. But looking back at it, I would say that the right decision that I should have taken back then is to take on another flight and maybe go to, for example, El Nido, or I don't know, we're gonna talk about where I wanna go at the end of the video as mentioned. And the reason for that is that the Cebu Island, everything looked quite similar. And when I look at other people's videos, after just doing some research, I realized that some parts of the country look very much differently in terms of the nature. Like, what I mean right now is, if you get the chance and you're thinking, hey, should I just do one part? I would say, looking back at it from my own experience, if you have a few weeks, not just one, do 2 parts of the country, but always keep in mind to not rush it. I would say this is one of the worst mistakes that one can make while traveling, is trying to see it all. If time is limited, do what I did, do just one place. But if you're staying actually for a few weeks, maybe a month, I would say do 2 areas of the country. Number 2, one of my favorite things, don't miss out on a motorbike ride. So it's pretty much quite normal when people travel to Southeast Asia to rent out a motorbike, you know, this feeling of freedom. You can go everywhere, it's super easy, it's super affordable. And while I have been talking to some people that have been like, oh, I don't know, it's maybe a little bit tricky, it's maybe a little bit dangerous to take the motorbike, I would say in the Philippines, if I'm going to compare it to like Thailand or to Indonesia, Bali, I would say I felt safer. The Philippines, what I noticed on the smaller islands, it's really not that overcrowded. I don't know if there has been the season that I've been in or the places that I've been at, but taking the motorbike out, super undeveloped from a tourist standpoint. So that's why I loved taking the motorbike in the Philippines that much, because it really felt like, you know, jumping into so much culture, into someone's world, into someone's life, so to say. I don't know, it sounds maybe a little silly, but that's how I felt. It has been an extremely adventurous feeling. But what you definitely also should not do is to trust Google Maps too much, because we have always been just using Google Maps, and sometimes it took us completely off-road. I remember this one time we have been going to the Kawasan Falls on the Cebu Island, and we just were going straight through the bushes. It has been super dangerous, I'm not gonna lie. So if you want to make sure, I would double check. If you're down for an adventure, yo, just turn on Google Maps and you're gonna be good to go with your adventure. It happened to us like 2 or maybe even 3 times that we went through completely wilderness thanks to Google. I don't know, a cool experience, but I would keep that in mind. Number 3, don't miss out on trying some of the local food. This idea, for some reason, I just got after like a few days, maybe a week in the Philippines. I was like, what are actually like their like known local dishes? And then we started to get into like trying the Filipino lechon, trying like sisig, I believe that's what has been the name of it. And yeah, it's really cool, it's really different, and it's very different to other places that we have been traveling to Southeast Asia. There are a lot of Hispanic influences when it comes to the food, so really unique, really good, obviously always a matter of taste, but I think just to try it out. And my number 4 is don't be afraid to bargain. Like what a lot of people, especially Westerners, don't get is when you hear a price, it's usually not the fixed price, it's not the final price. And I remember this pretty funny story of me parking our scooter, my girlfriend and I, at a supermarket, and this guy who has been like working there, I guess that's what he has been doing, he's asking me for, I believe, like $2 or maybe even $3 for parking, and I'm thinking like, yo, that's pretty hefty even here where I live in Europe. And I'm like, I don't know, dude, like I can do around $1. I don't know how much it has been, like 50 pesos or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, fine. And then like a German couple next to us saying like, hey, why did he just pay so much? We paid like 3 times as much. And they're like looking at us and we're like speaking German as well. So it has been kind of like a funny situation. So whenever you feel like you're getting a tourist price, it's just way too much, it's unreasonable. There is nothing wrong with overpaying sometimes, you know, it also helps local people out. So definitely don't get me wrong. But if you feel like you're getting ripped off, I remember this one time we wanted to rent out a boat and they wanted to have like $40 or $50. I would say there it's definitely a good opportunity to get out a little bit of your comfort zone, to learn how to negotiate, because you're gonna have to, otherwise you're gonna end up paying double, triple the price, and that's not really what you want to do, is it? And my last point is gonna be, don't be afraid to connect with the locals. And let me tell you one thing, very likely if you're going to be traveling through the Philippines, it's going to be inevitable, because if you're a Westerner, the people are super interested in who you are and what you do. Very often they come over, they want to talk to you. If that's not going to happen, they're at least going to probably smile at you. If you're like on a motorbike, super funny, like sometimes the people, the little children stand in line, they want to high-five you. I remember this one situation, a group of like, I don't know, like 7 to 10-year-olds came over to us. They wanted to talk, they asked who we are, what we do, if we are a couple, my girlfriend and I, and like, I don't know, like it's really, really cool. It's really an experience that like allows you to really like, I don't know, get a feeling for who people are and how they feel, and I think it's really cool. And also what helps to get like a little bit more of a connection if you're into that is to get in local Airbnb. So we have been staying twice with Filipino families, and every time it has been a great experience. I remember this one time in like this tower house, and there they also have been serving breakfast, and the breakfast has been out of this world. It has been amazing, and I don't know, just this experience of staying actually with a local family. And I would just say to stay actually at someone's place, obviously yes, in this case they build it for like tourists to come over. It's still a completely different experience than to stay at a commercial hotel or at a hostel, and the price point very often is the same or even cheaper. I remember this other time we have been staying at this huge villa for like, I don't know, like $25 or $30 a night with a pool, and there has been like a full-on fledged like Filipino family, I believe, like with a bunch of children basically staying there, and it has been really cool. They had like their own rooster farm or something like that, and while we got this really cool experience of staying at an affordable place with a pool and everything else, we were able to, it was on the Siquijor Island, still it felt different. Still, you not only got the experience of staying at a cool place, but also you got the experience of how the people live, of who the people are, and I don't know, I feel like it always adds to the experience. So I would say those are my 5 things, like in terms of recommendations, and maybe things that you should not do, as of, you know, like be careful with Google Maps, or really to consider on where to go. And now I would say let's jump into my travel plans. As I said, as of right now uncertain. I've been looking into flights and they're all pretty pricey at the moment. So we're looking into March. Probably all throughout March we want to do this trip, and the most affordable and what makes most sense to me right now is to go through Singapore. We also have a few friends there that I'm really looking forward to catch up with. So probably a few days in Singapore and then heading over to Manila, the capital city. Some people sometimes say like, yo, don't spend too much time in the city, but I'm actually really curious. And how is it? And if you have been there, if you live there, if you know anything about it, let us know. What area would you recommend us to stay in? I heard there's an area that is like really fancy in some way, like it's really new and they just set it up a few years ago. I'm sure some of the people from the last huge Philippine travel series know what I'm talking about, so any recommendations, let me know in the comments below. And from there we're thinking of heading over to El Nido. I've seen some pictures of it and obviously it's a must do. So El Nido, Coron, kind of like that. And we do want to go to Boracay. As far as I understood, Boracay is one of the most developed, and this island just shut down for a few months just because they're having too many people on it, and now it's kind of like redeveloped, reopened, and I'm really curious on how it is. And I also, as of right now, we are considering if we should keep it with those two places, or maybe add on another one. Obviously, it's always a cost factor, it's always a time factor, and as I said, I don't want to overrush, I don't want to like be burned out from every day going to different places, and I do also want to create a lot of content. So to stay at one place, to have one apartment for a few days is like gonna be easier to achieve, like, you know. So I've been looking into Siargao, kind of like the surfing capital. I don't know, I'm not into surfing. I tried it once in Australia, it has been a failure for sure. But it looks cool, it looks really cool. So if you have any recommendations, but it has to be reasonable, it has to be kind of like attainable to do in a short time frame, like below. I'm really pumped to do this trip, especially to escape a little bit of the cold temperatures that are going on right now. And for everyone who's watching that has been following the channel in the last few weeks, there have been a lot of projects. I started my second channel, I've been working with a few companies, which has been pretty epic. And as of right now, I wish everyone a great beginning for 2019. As of right now, me recording this, we're just one day away pretty much. And for the next year, I'm super excited for it. Like last year, I did an epic video announcing what I'm gonna do next year. And this time around, it's pretty much the same, just that I'm starting to work on it right now. Here on the channel, you're gonna see more videos where I would say, I want to create a little bit more also meaningful content. I want to share the things that over the last few years really helped me a lot in terms of routines, productivity, and mindset also a lot. So if you're interested in that, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next few videos that are coming. I think in January, sooner or later, I'm gonna jump on a regular video schedules, uploading 2 to 3 videos a week together with the second channel where 2 to 3 videos are coming, so it's gonna be intense. I'm looking forward to it. 2019, I hope you are as excited as I am. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to smash up the thumbs up button, put it up, and we're gonna see each other in the next one. Got a world to see.